What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to 100 Hours Club. I am your host, Nestor the Spitter. And, you know, first and foremost, I just want to apologize for anybody that has been waiting for me to drop something. 100 Hours Club is not just a name, it is a lifestyle that I live by. And when I say that it's a lifestyle that I live by, ultimately, I am out here busting my ass. I my goal is for every 2 weeks for me to at least hit 100 hours because that's what I know I feel is gonna keep me comfortable. For the most part, that's why 100 Hours Club is so important to me because it's not just a name, it's really my lifestyle. And when it comes to 100 Hours Club, I always want to present hustles, people that are doing something, people that motivate and, inspired to be better and inspired to be great. And I'm never going to be a gatekeeper. I'm never going to be something that holds information back. And I'm always interviewing people on what they do. But on this one, I kind of figured that if I'm doing that, my hustles always I always, when every time I'm gonna hustle, every time I'm gonna do something, every time I pick up a new hustle or whatnot, when it comes to like my side work, I've never really juggled that. Like I've always been a person that has done lawns and I stick with that. I've never done a person that has done lawns, then I started washing cars, then I started power washing. No, my side hustle, my side business, my small business is always doing lawns. And I appreciate that. And that's something that I like to do. But about a year ago, I got myself into a hustle that I feel is very lucrative for myself. And it started with my sister. I believe it started with my sister. And my older brother, and my sister in law had just recently moved down to Texas. So my sister in law was looking for a job. Shout out to my sister in law Patricia. Shout out to my sister Cece. And my sister in law was in the process of looking for like a part time job, just a job to keep herself going. And I've always been a person looking for like extra work. So what had happened is I don't really know how I ended up getting the position, but I got the position. So my sister in law was like, hey, like I guess she was applying and she was like looking, and ultimately what I'm talking about is I'm talking about Amazon, and what I'm talking about is Amazon Flex, and I'm gonna get into the details, but just how it led up to me getting into this position. She tells me like, hey, there's a position in San Marcos. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm like, all right, cool. She sent me the link. I put my application in, and all I saw was 3:45 to 8:45. I did not see the AM. I did not see the PM. I just put the application in, and sure enough, I got it. I got the position, and what I'm doing is what you call Amazon Flex. There's two Amazon Flex from my understanding, but I do the Amazon Flex. There's driving where you could drive for Amazon, and you're in your own car. You're pretty much wasting your own gas. You're not in a Amazon truck. You're just kind of doing it on your own, doing it when you can. Well, the Amazon Flex that I work that I'm working with is Amazon Flex, but you actually go to the warehouse. And me, I work at an Amazon XL warehouse, so that means it's bigger items and swimming pools, tires, refrigerators, couches, mattresses, anything that's bulky, that's in the department that I work at. So ultimately, the I did the orientation, did all that, and sure enough, the job ended up being the particular at the warehouse I work at, there's two positions that you could. There's two times you could work, which is there's a 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. or the other shift is 3:45 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. And for me, I was doing that. I was doing those, and it kind of works out for me because as soon as I'm done with this, as soon as I'm done with Amazon, I go directly to my other form of employment. And I've been, like I said, I don't know if I said it, but I've been there for a year now, and I'm a person that I bust my ass. So when it comes to me, like having to leave or whatever, they don't mind that. So now I've gotten to the point where I can work from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. so I could be at my other job or my other form of employment by at least 8:10, 8:15. So that's what I usually do. Now let me break down what exactly Amazon Flex is. In my department, there's two things you would be doing. You would either be down stacking, which is trucks getting there, you taking the merchandise out, laying it out, and then you put that merchandise on carts, you induct it. And inducting is when you put a sticker on it, you're kind of checking it into the system. You put a sticker on it, you put it on carts, and you kind of move the carts to the side. Me, what I do is what they call stowing. Stowing is you get there, you get a cart, and mind you, everything is well put together at Amazon. I have never worked for a warehouse company, and ultimately Amazon is kind of a warehouse company because that's what it is. It's warehouses, but they're well put together. The system, it's kind of like it's not much. It's repetitive. It's very easy. Like I said, I work at an Excel one. With that being said, like I said, it's just bigger items. That's all it is. And stowing, what you do is you get the carts that are ready to be put away. When you see the sticker where it has to go, you put it where it has to go, and you induct it. You check it in, and you scan it. You scan it where it needs to go, and then you put it there, and then on to the next one, and you just keep doing that until either your shift is over or until you're done. But ultimately, it's very easy. If you're a person that likes to work out, it's perfect for you because you're working out, you're moving, you're up and down, you're lifting things, you're pretty much working your body. And I think it's very easy. Like I said, that's my workout. And the thing about Amazon Flex is not only do I do it, my sister does it, my brother does it, and I believe my sister-in-law does it as well. But they do not work at an Excel warehouse. They work, I think my sister and my sister-in-law work at the Fresh, which is groceries, and my brother, he just works at like he works at a regular warehouse. But what it is like, and when I say Amazon Flex, is ultimately you're directly working with Amazon. But what it is about Flex is that you're not really tied to a schedule. The schedule is you making your schedule on your own. So, like I said, in my department, it's 2 a.m. to 7 a.m., 3:45 to 8:45. Me, anytime I go in, it's 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's what I work. And where the flex comes in is those are the hours they offer in my department. But what it is the week starts on a Sunday, ends on a Saturday. And you're not obligated to work a schedule they give you. Ultimately, you pick the days you want to work, you pick the days you don't want to work. If I have a shift on Monday, on Sunday at 9:10, I get a text message reminding me that I have a shift on Monday. And if I need to drop it or if I don't want it, I'll get into that in a bit, I could do that. So at 9:10, I get the shift reminder text. At 9:20, I get a text message telling me what shifts are available for that particular week. You're following me? If you're following me, cool. And I hope you are, because this is what's so dope about it. Is ultimately you're not obligated to say, hey, I'm gonna go in. Like, you could easily pick one day, and you only have, like, I think different departments have the minimum of what you have to work. But at my department, in my department, you have to work a minimum of 5 hours. So that's ultimately one day that you have to work, so you could continue to stay on the schedule. So if you want to work Monday and not work the rest of the week, you're good. But if you want to work Monday through Friday, all I could say is that your checks are going to be legit. Your checks are going to be, Amazon pays really well. I got there, I had started with what I started with. They had got evaluated. I started in June. They got evaluated in October, September, got a raise. I hit my year, I got a raise. Talking to one of my managers, they said that every time Amazon gets evaluated, they get a raise. And ultimately they get evaluated and they see what the cost of living is. They see what other warehouses are getting. And if they feel they need to give you more, they're going to give more. And not just to one individual, but to the whole company. And now, if you're an employee with Amazon Flex, you get your Amazon Prime paid. Now my Amazon Prime is free. Yeah, it has commercials, but you know what? It is what it is. So there's so many tools that they give you to be an employee, and to say you want to be a good employee. But even if you don't want to be a good employee, like, if you like there's when it comes to dropping a shift, there's a point system they have, which is you get 8 points. So you get to pretty much miss up 8 times if you want to miss up. And I personally feel in my department, if I don't really think, unless you're like going to work drunk, maybe going to work high, maybe going to work tweaking, I don't necessarily feel, or unless you're like really, really slow, I personally don't feel that you can really get fired from Amazon, because they give you, like I said, they give you a point system. And this point system it allows you, and it's kind of weird to say that, it's kind of weird, but it allows you to like miss up with not getting fired right away. If you happen to, let's say for example, you have a shift for Saturday. You have a shift for Saturday, and I'm putting in my schedule. I'm putting in my times, because me, during the week I shut down, and I'll get to that. But let's say you have a shift on Saturday, and Friday you get the reminder that, hey, you have a shift on Saturday, and it gives you an option to drop it. I think you have till 11:30 to drop it. So like I said, they give you so many chances. So let's say you have till 11:30 to drop it. You don't drop it because you have nothing planned for later on that night, but yet somebody comes to you at 5 or like at 4, like, hey man, we're gonna go have drinks, we're gonna go do this, let's go out, and you happen to go out, but yet you have to be at work at either 2:00 a.m. or 3:45 a.m. So now you know you're not going to be at work. So if you happen to drop that shift, you get 2 points deducted. So you really get to do that 4 times. 2, 4, 6, 8. By the 4th point, they're going to give you a message and say, hey, watch your points. For dropping a shift late, it's 2 points. For not working, like, let's say you go on a Monday for 3 hours, because sometimes they do offer VTO. VTO is voluntary time off. And Every day you work, you earn PTO, and PTO you can use it whenever you want. You so for I'm trying to let me stay on track here. I don't want to jump to this, jump to that. I always do that, but you can, like I said, if you drop a shift late, that's 2 points. If you don't make the time that you need to make, it's another point. If you happen to not pick up a shift for that week, that's 1 point. But mind you, all these points eventually get deducted. So if you get a point in the beginning of October, by the end of October, that point's gone. So unless you're like the type to just say, hey, I don't care about this job, I don't want it, then you're gonna get fired. But at one point, I remember I had to go pick up my mother-in-law. I think it was my mother-in-law from a concert, and I took them. So I'm like, cool. The concert ended up staying longer, so I ended up dropping the shift. All of those points that I got taken away. So I don't feel like this is a job. If you're getting fired from this job, and if you're not wanting to, like, if you're not wanting to do the work, like, just don't do it. But pretty much, and you're also working with Amazon. When you're a driver, you're working with the third parties. You're working for Amazon, but you're not working with Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, you're working for them, but it's a third party that's hiring you. When you work with Amazon Flex, you're actually working with Amazon. You're part of the company. You could get insurance, you could get 401k, you could get all of the necessary things that you want to do. And there's some times where you have a max of 15 hours. So for me, it's 5 hours a shift. So 15 hours is 3 days. Then just recently, we're having 30 hours max. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's 6 days out of the week you could work. But mind you, you only have to work one day to stay on the schedule, to continue getting those text messages, to continue getting opportunities to work. All you have to do is work one day. And like I said, even if you don't work one day, you would have to literally, if you didn't pick up a shift for like I said, for not picking up a shift, you get 1 point. I remember I went on a cruise, and I talked to the manager, and I was like, hey, sir, how do I do it? Do I got to put time in, time off? And he's like, man, you have no points on your board. You have no points on the board. So ultimately, you could just not come in that week. You're going to get 1 point, but you're still okay. You're still going to be excused. You're not going to get fired. And a lot of times, too, getting these points, if you talk to the managers, and if you're cool with the managers, and if you respect the managers, a lot of times they'll say, hey, they'll tell HR, you know what? He was going through this happened, and those points will get knocked off. Ultimately, you won't lose your job. So Amazon Flex it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's crazy, and it's funny to put it in this perspective. But if this job and this side hustle does not take anything away from my main job, nothing. I start my day at 2 a.m. because I go in from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. so I could be at my other place of employment by, like I said, 8:10, 8:15, depending on if there's traffic. You're allowed to clock in 5 minutes early. You're allowed to clock out 5 minutes early. So I'm on a time schedule. The only thing that I hate about this is that I can't put my daughter to sleep, and she does not wake up to me because my daughter got so used to me putting her to sleep and me waking up to her. But at the end of the day, I come home every day. So when I'm home with her, I love it. But back to the crazy thing. This Amazon Flex is like, I'm not this, but it's like you have your main girl and this is your side piece that does not want a lot of attention. You know what I mean? Like, but a lot of times side pieces want attention, but And when I put it in that format, it's real simple. Like, you have your main dish, but you're eating your side, and like you have a side, and it's like it doesn't it doesn't require a lot of attention. And if you're a hustler, if you're hustling, if you're ready to make money, if you want to make money, of course you're going to work more. But if you're okay with just working 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you could do it. No, they're not going to tell you that you're wrong. They're not going to sit there and say you need to be here more. A lot of these managers, they understand what it is. And a lot of these managers see people come and go. For me to be there a year and get the respect that I get, I don't have to worry about raises because these raises just kick in. When I look at my phone and I see what's available, and I see that, hey, this day I'm gonna get this, and it comes through, yo, what more can you ask for? And I work what you quote unquote call the night shift. Surge prices. They have what they call surge wages. And my sister-in-law, she works here in San Marcos, and she does I don't believe she gets a lot of surge wages. And if she does, it's not very much. But Amazon employees still get paid a lot of money. That's what's dope about it. My sister told me she don't really get a lot of surge wages. My brother told me he might have got something, but nothing crazy. In my department, it starts off at $3 to $5 to $7, $10, and it's gone up to as much as $15 on top of what I'm making. I'm not going to sit here and say what I make because it's not about, to me, it's about the money, but I'm not here bragging about what I'm making. I am just here to tell you that if you want a side hustle that you don't have to give that much attention to, Amazon Flex is the way to go. Amazon Flex will put money in your pocket every Wednesday night or Thursday morning like clockwork. If this just get this, if you work, if you work 3 days, you're gonna get paid the following Wednesday, Thursday for those 3 days. Guaranteed. But ultimately, if you put the work in, you're gonna get paid. And 100 Hours Club is about me putting people on to opportunities, me putting people on to what people might be scared of doing. Today I was in Austin and took my wife to Kendra Scott. There was a guy embroidering and putting like customizing hats. Went to go have a conversation with him, and asked him about the hats. What he does. And I was like, oh yeah, man, I want to get a hat of my podcast. And he's like, what's your podcast? And I told him 100 Hours Club, and he's like, what is it about? And I'm like, hustling and about it, like giving people their roses while they're here for the hustle that they're doing. And he's like, when you said that, that's exactly what I thought about, is hustle. And that's exactly what I do. I interview multiple people, and I'm going to interview multiple people. But until then, I'm going to keep my platform going. Being a father that is a husband that holds down two jobs and also has this small business, it's a lot of work. But also, I love being in front of the camera. I love bringing knowledge to people. I love being here. I love doing this. And it's crazy to say it, but whenever my daughter gets older and she could see what I've done, if I could spark something in her mind to say, you know what, I want to chase my dream. That's all I'm doing this for someone to sit there and say, I'm going to chase my dream, because that's what I'm doing. I do all these hustles and I do what I do, but if my podcast could pop and I could focus on this, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do it, because you know what? I've hustled my ass to get to where I'm at. I've busted my ass to get to where I'm at. Even at my main employment. And I'm gonna talk about that in the next one. But even at that one, I literally started from the bottom and I'm where I'm at. And even me being at Amazon, I'm already getting opportunities. They're already asking me if I wanna, go do full time. And people are throwing my name in the hat to see, hey, what about this guy? And all they're doing is just seeing the work that I do. All they're doing is just observing me. And you know what? I like that, because I observe people. I learn more from people. I learn more from observing people than actually talking to people, because you see what people are doing, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. And I had a manager one time that I learned so much what not to do in a position that he was in, because it was just there. It was just flat out that he sucked. You dig? But I'm not the person to sit here and say who's good, who's not. I'm just the person that's just trying to be positive and spread the word of positivity. I really appreciate everybody. Amazon Flex is a way to go if you could get your foot in. My brother has done Amazon Flex, the driving, and I believe my nephew has done it. He said they made some good money, but you gotta think about it. You have to put your own gas. You're putting miles on your car, oil changes, tire rotation. There's so much that comes with that. All I gotta do is drive my happy ass to the warehouse, and I'm good. I clock in, I'm making money. As soon as I clock in, I'm making money. It's clockwork. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you for being with me still. Thank you for still sticking with me. 100 Hours Club. I'm going to take this to the top, because all I could do is depend on myself. And I'm always going to put money on myself. I really appreciate everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all have a wonderful day. Y'all be safe out there. And till next time, 100 Hours Club. It's your boy Nesto. Yeah.